John Morant took to Instagram. He posted a story on Instagram. For you, those of you who don't know, there are two ways. Well, yeah, pretty much two basic ways you can post on Instagram. You can post a story, which is something that's going to disappear in 24 hours, or you can post something that's to your account, whether that be a picture or a reel or a video or whatever you're doing. Ja did the temporary 24-hour thing, and in that story, he posted some very nice pictures as well of his mom, his dad. Someone said his sister. I didn't see that one, but they said it was his sister, and a picture of Kari, and then a final slide that said it had Ja in a Grizzlies jersey, and it said simply the words "bye," B-Y-E, with a period at the end. Someone brought it to my attention on Twitter. I went and looked on Instagram. There was nothing there but the "bye" screen. I looked it up on Twitter and saw the other pictures of his dad, his mom, and Okari. You know, on Twitter you can only post 4 pictures, so I guess his sister didn't make the count. People were telling me that his sister was in the story as well. And people kind of ran with making assumptions of what that may be about. Right now, you know, with the things that Ja has done, anything he tweets, anything he posts on Instagram, Kenny, will lead people to kind of, you know, wonder, you know, what's this all about? So people became investigators, of course. And there were 4 things that crossed my mind, not particularly that I thought the post was about, but really just things that I know people were going to kind of run with. The first thing that I thought people would run with is that Ja is leaving the Grizzlies. This final picture had Ja in a Grizzlies jersey saying the words "bye." And you know how every time somebody posts anything, Giannis, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, LeBron, whoever, anytime somebody, an NBA player posts anything, you'll see people say, come to Boston or come to LA, or, you know, like NBA players can just get up and go where they want to go at any time. So I figured that was going to come.
This ain't the transfer portal.
Right, exactly. Ja's not on an NIL deal. Penny probably could get Ja too, man. He probably could get him a little penny thing or something. Anyway, well, but yeah, that's the first thing I thought people were going to run with. I thought people were going to say Ja's leaving the Grizzlies, like he's about to leave. That was the number one thing. Number two, this is one of my thoughts. I thought that Ja was about to take another tour of his whole mental health facility thing that he did a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, whatever it was. I thought he was going to be doing something like that. I thought that was him saying goodbye to his family because he's about to take another trip away from his family and go, you know, do another bid in the mental health facility that he was in last time. And I was, you know, kudos to that. Another thought, which was actually what was going on, was that Ja was about to go into dark mode, that he was about to log off of the internet, social media, start, you know, preparing for the offseason, preparing for the next season, you know, getting his workouts in, those type of things. Or just, you know, realizing that social media has been kind of a common, you know, catalyst of a lot of stuff he's had going on. So that's what I thought for the most part. And then, of course, there were people who, now I'm gonna there's certain words that I think you can't say on YouTube, Kenny. So I'm gonna talk around those.
Yeah, let's be careful.
Words. Yeah. Because, you know, we're not doing this for free. We do want all the money that YouTube has for us as well. So there were people who were not assuming, but hoping that Ja wasn't in a position where he may have been preparing to commit self-harm to himself. That conversation came up. And that's something that I thought people would think, but that wasn't what I thought. The sane brain in me, somebody needs to sponsor that segment too, man. Y'all need to throw some money at that segment. It'll bless you. But no, I figured that people would start thinking that way, that Ja may do something to himself. And that seemed to be the assumption that people kind of ran with the most. Because, you know, just being honest, there's a lot of things that Ja is going through that could lead to that type of thought. He's kind of becoming a meme on Twitter. I've heard a lot of people talk about, Jeff Calkins talk about this, Gary Parrish talk about this, how if 20, 30 people attack me on Twitter, I harvest it. You know what I mean? And I deal with it. Like you can have a million people on Twitter who are showing you love, who are respecting you, who subscribe to everything you do, retweet everything you put out, listen to your shows, comment, share your stuff, you know, really support you, show up to your watch parties, all those type of things. But you can have one jackass in your comments or that tweets at you, you know, that can, you know, ruin your whole day. So imagine what Ja's going through when millions of people on Twitter are. And you look up and there's a new meme for you, every day, every few hours. There's somebody with Photoshop, making these things to make fun of you. And I'll even admit myself, even after all this stuff went out, I found a pretty funny Ja Morant meme, Kenny Stubblefield. He was, it was Ja, and he was doing the starting lineup thing, and there was a metal detector at the end of the line.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny as shit. And this happened in the middle of, people wanting this job about to, self-harm or whatever. So I get it. I get how people could think that way. I didn't think that way. I wasn't thinking that way at all. It looked to me like he was about to log off, like he was about to go offline. And this is the reason why. This is how I saw it. A lot of people, shout out to Gary Parrish. Y'all know Gary Parrish is the GOAT in my eyes, in this realm, in this arena. Gary, with all due respect, Gary was saying things like, if he was just logging off the internet, he wouldn't be acknowledging his parents, he wouldn't be acknowledging his daughter, those type of things. And I totally took it a different way than how Gary saw it.
Yep, me too.
When I saw it, I was like, to me it was like Ja was saying, look, I hear all what y'all are saying. I hear y'all saying how social media is killing me or whatever, and social media is doing this, doing that. And to me, my mom is hell of important. My dad is important.
Right.
My daughter's important. But this social media shit ain't.
It's not important.
It's not important.
Yeah.
Deuce.
Yeah.
I'm out. That's how I took the entire time. That's how I took it. I didn't want to talk about it much on Twitter because I didn't want to argue with people. And I also did want to prepare for the worst. I didn't want to be out talking about, I didn't want to minimize what he was saying. And then something actually does happen. Then I'm looking dumb because I didn't, I ignored the signs or whatever.
Well, sometimes it's best just to not say anything, right?
Because nobody
we don't
knew,
know,
man.
Nobody
Nobody
know.
knew. Yeah, nobody knew. So information came out later that day, early that afternoon, saying that the police department had did a wellness check on Ja. He was good, and the story came out confirming that he was just taking time off of social media.